Let's look at some bird photos. Talk about the story of the day. Story of this day, this is May 3rd, 2026, and it is the first Sunday of the month, which is kind of a bigger day for me now. For the past few months, as I talked about, I've been going with one particular bird group in the morning, and then there's another one that meets up in the afternoon. There's a little bit of time where I sometimes will get in a bit more. It depends on how late we stay at the first one. It can be it could be a good day, that's for sure. It's a long day, but it's a good day. And so we start out first thing in the morning out by the water, Avocet and Wilson's phalarope. Both beautiful birds. I really am happy with the way that this one turned out because I like the Avocet quite a bit. I like the color to them as they go, and I've not gotten very many good shots of Wilson's phalarope. I've gotten some video, but there we go. And this one, so we actually, here is another shot. One's out of focus, but you can see they have this is one I think every time we see them, I learn this fact over again, which is good. They have is it the sexual dimorphism? That might actually only apply to size. I've only heard, I don't, hmm. So I have a question to ask them next time I go out to do this because now I'm not sure if that term is this if only for size, where typically the male is larger than the female, but I have heard that sexual dimorphism term to mean the opposite of that the female is larger than the male. I don't know if the same term applies for the other aspect that you get where the male is usually more colorful than the female in a lot of birds. In this instance, it's the other way around any other birds out here, and I actually don't know if the other phalaropes are the same. Is it true across the whole species, or is it just Wilson's? I haven't seen many others yet, but for Wilson's phalarope, we have the male down here, a bit more drab, a bit more plain, and the female is the one that has more of the red to it. That was something. I have another shot here. This one I'm pretty happy with, where it came out, where we actually had the male and female on the same plane, so they actually are in focus, and we have the female who's got more of that reddish and kind of darker colors, and then the male over to the side. Pretty cool, very very cool. So although not a brand new bird, ones that I hadn't gotten very good photos of, so I'm happy about this. But speaking of a brand new bird, I had never seen a solitary sandpiper before, and there we go, brand new. Very cool. That was one that the others cued me in on, and I had to okay, where, which one, where, and then I took a picture of it and added a new one to my list. Solitary sandpiper. Excellent. Let's see. We also had just looking at a couple of them here. House finch. I was happy about this photo because one house finch very pretty. Males are the more colorful and red. That might be a female down below. I can't quite get a full look at it, and I don't know enough about them to tell, but for sure, and they typically hang out together. This makes sense. A lot of the photos I've gotten of house finch before have been at a feeder, so I was happy to see not at a feeder, just out in nature, house finch. That was good. Let's see what else came out of this day. Good story. Here we go. As we came around the corner at one point, there was another photographer out there on this location in the morning who cued us in and showed it, saw, I'm sure a couple of us with our cameras and everything was like, here, if you come down and you come around and you look and you're quiet, there's a sleeping beaver on a log. I didn't expect to see that. Very cute. Just out there asleep in the mid morning. Yeah. And then I think two more things really cool happened that day. One of them, this may have been the first. I'm trying to remember. Been a bit since this day by the time I'm getting around to recording it. But this may have been the first yellow warbler, first of year for me at the very least. And it is the northern yellow warbler, as I have learned. That name recently changed. That's not been the case for a while, but we were looking for it for a while. We kept seeing flashes of yellow, but behind branches and things. We could hear it, spent some time looking. Finally, it comes out onto a branch in a way that I can get a pretty clear photo of it or two. And I'm pretty happy about that. That's great. And then one more thing we saw as we were going, killdeer. Not exactly the most rare bird. I see them most every time I go out, and you hear them often. I had not seen them at such close range, I don't think, to notice the red around the eye, which I think is really cool. But more so than that, we are at the end of the trail now as we're going. We're heading back to the parking lot. We're almost there. And um, this guy comes up and makes a bunch of noise and then does this. It does it twice because I was not ready the first time. I wasn't like, oh, killdeer. So this was actually the second time that I had landed. The broken wing display. It flops down on the ground and throws its wing out in a way and starts crying like, oh no, my wing is broken. What can I do? And then if you after a minute of doing this or so, or if you get closer to it, which is what it's doing, it's luring you in, a dog or people, whatever the case may be, some kind of predator, it'll fly off. And it's doing this, and so I assume um, it is doing this as a distraction technique to draw you away from its nest. So it must have a nest nearby to where we were at. And I assume when it takes off, it would fly in the opposite direction and then land somewhere else and try to get you to go after it that way. So you'll follow it and take you away from its nest. Really cool. Oh, excuse me. It is early today. Just a really cool thing that I had not seen before. And it was really neat to witness it. And I went, oh man, I hope it does it again. And then it did a moment later, where it did another broken wing display. It was really, really cool. Got some photos of it. I'd love to get video of it someday. But that is about all we really have time for today because there's a part two. As I said, this was all just the morning. There's a little bit more that happened in the afternoon that we should come back to later. Bye, buddy.